The family of a Limpopo man who disappeared while at work at Anglo American's platinum Rustenburg mine over 25 years ago is accusing the mine of covering up his disappearance. Shaniseka Mashimbye was last seen when he clocked into the mine's Frank 1 shaft on the 17th of May 2000. His family says that the matter was never reported to the police and efforts to get answers have been futile. The youngest child was 4 years old when he disappeared. His children believe the lack of closure on the matter negatively affects their lives. Mashimbye's brother, who worked at the same mine at the time of his disappearance, believes he wasn't properly searched for inside Shaft 1. Though 25 years have passed since Mashimbye was last seen, his family is reluctant to initiate the process to presume him deceased. The family believes the police were never given an opportunity to depose witness statements. The mine says their investigations found that Mashimbye exited the mine premises on the day of his disappearance. The mining giant has also denied allegations of a cover-up, supplying SABC News with a police case number of the investigation.
It was difficult raising my children without their father. None of them got tertiary education because I could not afford it. I had to sell vegetables in town just so they could eat. My feet are now even painful.
They told us that he was taken by a ghost. There is no such thing. We were there when they searched for him on the surface with helicopters, but they did not take any of us with them when they searched for him underground. My things are stuck. I have just lost my job and have had to come back home, and the mine does not seem to care how this is affecting us.
This situation of my father is negatively affecting my mental well-being.
Well, we now speak to Pimani Baloyi, who joins us for more SABC News Reporter. Pimani, the mine no longer belongs to Anglo American. In fact, it has been bought by Valterra Platinum, which is a mining operation that has taken control of that shaft. What has become of this case, especially given that that change of ownership has happened?
Good evening, Oliver, and good evening to our viewers. Oliver, what has actually happened is that Valterra Platinum has actually responded to us because we went to them with these allegations. Initially, we hadn't even visited the family. We just wanted to find out what happened. And what they essentially told us is that when it was found that he wasn't there, they set up a task team that searched for him underground and on the surface, and they couldn't find him through that search. But let me read you excerpts of what their initial statement to us was. Valterra Platinum, in open quotes, is aware of the disappearance of Mr. Thomas Shaniseka Mashimbye in 2000, but reiterate, this word's important, but reiterate that Mr. Mashimbye did not disappear on or at our premises. They say at the time they conducted an investigation, and some of the people that he was working with, this is outside the court, told them that he actually entered the mine premises at the start of that shift at Shaft 1, but at the end of the shift, he left the mine through Shaft 2. So they say there was actually a banksman who confirmed seeing him exiting the underground operations at Shaft 2. So this is essentially what they've been saying, that years ago we investigated this. But you know what, Oliver, after speaking to the family, there were two main allegations that made us go back to Valterra Platinum. The first one was their belief, the family's belief, that there was actually a cover-up in terms of what happened. It seems somebody knew what happened to him, and people were even bribed to cover up what could have happened. But the second allegation was that because his brother at the time worked at the mine, so he was one of the first people to be informed before the search parties were constituted. He says the second issue is that the investigation was only done by mine security. So he believes, had police been given the right to depose some of the witnesses, to also search as well, they think they would have made headway. But when we went back to Valterra, taking these two allegations, they blankly told us that they've been open with the family. There was no cover-up. They actually did thorough searches, stating that these searches were actually done with members of the SAPS in that area, also forwarding us documents from the SAPS, giving us 3 case numbers that they say were investigated by the police. But secondary, they were also saying that there was actually no cover-up. Police investigated, and they sympathize with the family. They can understand what the family is going through, but on their part, they did their best to look for him. And when we got these case numbers, Oliver, we reached out to the SAPS in the Northwest, trying to figure out when were these cases opened, what happened with the investigations. And unfortunately, police are still going through that those documents to confirm to us what actually happened. So the SABC will continue following up on the story to find out from the SAPS, did they really go to the mine at the time of the disappearance? Did they speak to witnesses who were with him, and what did these witnesses say? But at this point in time, it's a distraught family. You saw his wife crying, talking about her biggest pain is the fact that without his salary, without his wages, or even his pension fund, she wasn't able to get her kids to get a tertiary education, and none of her kids have secured proper employment, which she feels, had he been around, this would not have happened.
Yeah. And just lastly, the police number that the mine had provided to you, does it check out, and what's the version of events from the police?
We haven't been able to independently verify that as yet, but you know, case numbers always have dates in terms of how it's done. So from what I can tell, which is just my personal view, it seems the case was actually opened in 2001, and we know that he was last seen on the 17th of May 2000. So it's not clear if there are prior cases that we are not aware of, but we're hoping that the SAPS will come back to us tomorrow or soon so that we can verify what is the status of those cases.
Pimani, thank you so much for this. Really do appreciate it. Pimani Baloyi, SABC News Reporter, giving us the latest on that case.